classroom is. And other sites, we have any other sites who'd like to tell me, what do you think an innovative classroom means? And you can just, you don't have to raise your hand, you can just tell me.
From Woodbridge?
Lakebridge?
Webbridge.
Oh.
Webbridge.
Webbridge, okay.
You need to unmute there, Mike.
Are you guys on mute? Did you say anything?
Are you on mute? Can you say something?
I think they changed the mind.
Okay, well that's fine. It's funny, when I'm speaking, I do a lot of speaking to students. I use video conferencing pretty much every day to talk to students from my home. And when I'm doing that, I noticed that when I'm speaking to like 3rd graders, everybody raises their hand. They're really enthusiastic. And then maybe 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade up, it gets a little slower. And then when I start talking to adults and senior citizens, then it gets like, arthritis of the hand-raising muscle. But I really think that, yes?
I think you named a lot of them yourself. This may explain some of the silence here as arthritic adults. But I would say interactive.
Interactive, thank you. Yes, interactive. I think it's important, and this is part of why I made a somewhat maybe not very good joke, is because I wanted you guys to maybe get offended and raise your hands so that you would not be classed as arthritic. So interactive is one where everybody does raise their hands, or at least a few people do, and get involved. I think is a really important part, getting involved. So interactive, and do we have one more word about innovative classroom? Any thoughts from the distance? Yes?
Where they're challenged, where they feel challenged, not just with the content, but with a new skill or something that they see that they can carry over in their life.
So challenges, like maybe defeating those and going over them in different ways is what you're saying?
They feel...
I think the engagement can be increased by the challenge of a new skill.
Engagement increased by challenge of a new skill. That is a really good point. Maybe when students are more challenged, they become they think more about ways that they can overcome that challenge and they get more involved. Very good. So, challenge, a new skill. Challenge. Great. So now we have some vision for green innovative classroom. It's one where learning is relevant. Okay. It's one where learning is relevant, interactive, and yes?
I think that they're trying to tell you that innovative classroom is hands-on.
Hands-on. Okay, thank you. Hands-on is another great one. Yes, that is a very hands-on example. Using your hands, body language. Very good. Hands-on. Just typing with one finger here. So we see that innovative classroom is relevant, it's interactive, where everybody's participating, where challenges can create new skills. The students who are challenged by these new things can really meet the challenge. And then it's hands-on, when, especially like for kinesthetic, tactile learners, getting together and doing the project that is required of them, so very hands-on. Now, this vision is all very fine and dandy, but it makes you maybe wonder, how do we actually accomplish that? How do we make that vision reality? Now, in order to make such a lovely vision reality, you have to get down and dirty into implementation. You have to put the puzzle pieces together. So here's my kid's eye view tip number 1. Make learning social. We don't want kids going to social networking sites and staying up all night chatting. We want to make learning social in meaningful ways. So, because I'm a writer, I start with the example of writing. Writing is typically a very lone activity, and people like Emily Dickinson, J.D. Salinger, the sort of typical recluse, the hermit in their style, haven't really helped that image. But Emily Dickinson is like so 1800s. It's time for innovative writing. Make it social. You can use collaborative writing and student blogs to give your up-and-coming student writers an audience. Because I really strongly believe that sharing is encouraging. When you participate, it lets students know that you aren't just expecting them to share, you're willing to share yourself. Now this is what I call the poison tester effect. Now, while the homework and the writing assignments you give your students probably aren't poison, probably aren't lethal, fatal, dangerous, some students may have suspicious thoughts about it lurking in their subconscious, compounded with a fear and paranoia complex of writing, out of my psychologist mode. How do you combat this? Well, I would say that before students tackle projects on their own, collaborative group writing is a good way to demonstrate new concepts. It builds teamwork, so students working together can create maybe dispel the fear of writing. And you see that a lot of students maybe think, oh, writing is going to be so hard. This essay is going to be so impossible, right? So when you are able to combat that through collaborative writing exercises and show students that writing is maybe not as hard as they build it up to be, then you can really make writing easier. So after giving a basic definition of the concept, I will demonstrate the concept in a write-along activity. I use an inquiry-based approach to get students' creativity and imagination flowing. So to show you what I mean by this, let's pretend that you're students. Together, we're going to do a persuasive writing activity, and you'll be divided into groups. So